I tell them suckers to move. I ain't in the mood. Got me with the crew, let me do what I do. I tell them suckers to poof. Got me in the booth, lobby in the truth. Let me do what I do. Yeah, remember when the U come through, enter the music jungle. Or back with the block, I used to rock, I used to fumble. I still rock down, drop the ball when I want to. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Manny.
My name is Alberto.
And this is the OnlyFights podcast.
Episode 30.
Yes, sir.
Finally out of the 20s.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. Had a good night of fights last night.
Hell yeah. Pretty good day overall.
Yeah.
Starting with the Dazn card, we had John Ryder taking on Daniel Jacobs. Two good former... Well, Danny Jacobs being a former world champion and John Ryder being a former world title contender, I believe on several occasions, if I'm not mistaken. But the card was pretty good. Didn't get to catch the whole thing, but I saw the highlights, and I think every fight delivered.
Nice.
So I can start off with Magomed Medvedev taking on Felix Cash, rising middleweight. This was a good fight, man. You know, Felix Cash, he was this was his hardest test of his career. He went down twice in this fight. Hard shots by Medvedev. He went down, I believe, in the second and 12th. Even got a point deducted. But he was quick, man. He was quick and durable. Landed a lot of great combinations, and was just barely won this fight by decision. Moving on to the co-main, you had rising heavyweight Johnny Fisher taking on Gabriel Nguema. Not a bad fight. Nguema known to be a pretty rugged journeyman. Pushing Johnny Fisher, and Johnny looking good. He didn't get the knockout. He was, I believe, 6-0 with all knockouts coming into this fight. Suffered a cut in the first round, and he dealt with it. Good opening round, and by the third, he was fully in control. Had a little struggling, and I believe in like the fifth round, but closed it out. First time going the distance, and he gets the victory, 59-55 in the scorecard.
Damn.
So that was the co-main, and then
Nice.
Main event. Like I said, Danny Jacobs, John Ryder, 168 pounds. This was a WBA title eliminator. So, I mean, Canelo got all the belts. So, regardless, whoever. This is a good fight. Good opening round for Danny Jacobs. He came out. It was pretty dominant, I'd say, in like the first half of the fight. John Ryder, he would prove to be tricky and slip in some shots here and there. But I thought Danny was winning the fight comfortably. Towards the middle of the fight, John Ryder would come on strong and land some shots, seemingly hurting Jacobs a couple times here and there. Jacobs would finally switch to he was fighting in the orthodox position and switched to southpaw in the 8th round.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really seem to have too much success after that, though. I think John Ryder made the fight close. I still thought Danny Jacobs won the fight. But yeah, man, it was a split decision victory for John Ryder, and somewhat controversial.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought Danny Jacobs won the fight, but maybe I'm just being a little biased because I like Danny Jacobs.
Yeah.
Some might think this is poetic justice because I thought so personally I thought Danny Jacobs did not deserve the victory against Gabe Rosado. Got it anyways.
Yeah.
I thought John Ryder was robbed against Callum Smith. Not saying that this justifies any of that, but I'm just kind of like throwing those things out there.
The universe kind of balancing itself out.
Yeah, more or less. And it wasn't like an atrocious. I wouldn't call this a robbery. I just think this is slightly not the best call. That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nonetheless, John Ryder gets the victory. He becomes mandatory for the WBA championship at 168 pounds. As we know, as I mentioned before, Mauricio Suleiman alluded to some sort of a tournament between mandatories of different sanctioning bodies.
Yeah.
So that doesn't automatically mean that he's going to get this fight with Canelo, because I don't want to see it. And
There's
you
so
know,
many people in line.
yeah. But that'd be pretty cool to see him fight another mandatory in, I don't know, like Demetrius Andrade,
Yeah.
who actually not Benavidez was calling Andrade, and I think Eddie Hearn said he could make that fight
Hmm.
if you know, PBC plays ball, I guess. I don't know,
Yeah.
but that would be that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I'd want to see John Ryder against not Canelo, other guys. Andre was no, I think he fights at 160. The young kid, Jaime Munguia.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. But those other guys at 168, man, might be good. You know, anybody else who could be like a mandatory, maybe like a David Morrell, actually. Yeah. I think David Morrell is the interim champion
Yeah.
for that weight class, WBA. So we'll see what's up, man. But yeah, that was I think that was the only I think ESPN had another card, but I didn't catch it. Uh, Not a lot of boxing because it's Super Bowl weekend
Yeah.
in the world of American football, and we had a crazy card in the UFC. I'll be honest, I didn't think it was gonna be as good as, I was just looking forward to the
Yeah.
co-main.
I feel like that kind of happens a lot where like you don't even see like the first couple fights on the main card till like the day of, and you're like, oh shit, I know that fight was going on.
Yeah.
Like the first fight, we had a lightweight fight. It was Bobby Green versus Nasrat Hakparas. Hakparas is a German fighter. You know, one of the top young prospects in the UFC right now. He's only 26 years old, and he's had a decent amount of UFC fights already.
Yeah.
He's 13-5. Bobby Green, UFC veteran. He's 29-12, 35 years old. I actually saw him live at 268 in New York.
Nice.
He fought Al Iaquinta and had a first round TKO.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was no. After that, he had one more fight. He fought Fazeev and he lost a close fight to him in that one. And then yeah. So he's always really active. So yeah, I thought this was gonna be a really good fight. I thought it was gonna be really competitive, and it really wasn't. I mean, it was entertaining because Bobby Green's style is he's fun to watch. He's really unorthodox.
Yeah.
Fights with his hands down, just leans back and I thought it was gonna be a lot closer, but Bobby Green was just clearly way faster than him. Hakparas couldn't touch him, man. He was Bobby Green had the timing down perfect. He was waiting to counter. You can tell, he wanted him to come in so he can counter him, but Hakparas didn't really do much. It was
He was getting tagged, man. He couldn't get out of he wasn't moving his head.
Yeah, he kept a high guard, and fucking Bobby Green kept punching him right through the guard.
Yeah.
It almost reminded me of the when Sean O'Malley fought that new guy, and he just kept fucking punching him right in the face, even though he had his hands up the whole time. It was just like that, and Bobby Green was just a step ahead of him. He saw everything coming a mile away. He got hit a couple times, but he was rolling with everything. Really impressive, man. He just had the timing down, and he doesn't have a whole bunch of power, so I don't think he really hurt him. Hakparas was pressuring him the whole time. He was putting the pressure on, but Bobby Green, like you said, was just picking him apart, just punching him at will. The jab, just killing him with the jab from the hip, all day. So it was a good performance by Bobby Green. He always ends up getting like a performance of the night or fight of the night or something.
Yeah.
So that was good, man. He might fuck around and get ranked like they're talking about. So yeah, he gets the win by decision. A good fight. The second fight was another lightweight fight. Alexander Hernandez and Renato Moicano. Alexander Hernandez is 29. He's 13-5. He's had a good amount of UFC fights too. He's had his up and downs. I think he's coming off of a win, and he's fighting Renato Moicano, 32-year-old Brazilian fighter. He's 16-4. He's been around for a while as well. He's worked his way up the rankings before. He had a couple big wins over Cub Swanson and then Calvin Kattar at featherweight. where he used to fight, and then he got beat up by Jose Aldo, and then the Korean Zombie, like back to back, and he moved up to lightweight. He lost his first fight to Rafael Vaziv, got beat up pretty good, and then his last fight he had a submission win. He's more of a jiu-jitsu guy, so he's coming off that win. So I was expecting this to be a pretty good fight. First round, it was pretty even. They came out, they both came out swinging. Both guys landing big shots. Hernandez seemed to have like the power advantage for sure. Moicano did get a takedown pretty early, but wasn't able to really do much with it. Pretty even first round. Second round, Moicano starts to find his rhythm on the feet. Lands a couple of real big uppercuts, and then lands a beautiful 4-punch combination. Drops Hernandez. Moicano jumps on his back right away, sinks in the rear naked choke, and Hernandez got no choice but to tap. So nice win for Moicano.
Reluctant taps.
Yeah, it was one of those taps where he just knew, he just kind of. It was good though. It was an impressive win. I can see Moicano making his way up the rankings again. I think, he's a guy that might have fought a couple, some probably really hard competition, maybe a little too early in his career. But I think now, he definitely seems to be improving. And we see so many guys now that, have the same story, that they've been around for 10 years and went through ups and downs and then come back and become championship. Yeah. We know we've seen it done over and over again now. Yeah, it's really dope. The third fight, we had a big middleweight fight. This is pretty much a title eliminator. The number 3 ranked middleweight Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson, the number 4 ranked fighter in middleweight division. Jared Cannonier, 37 years old. I love this guy's story too. He fought at heavyweight originally. He was a fat. He was pretty big. He was fat. He fought at heavyweight for a while, and then he fought at light heavyweight. He lost a bunch of weight. Fought at light heavyweight, and got close to a title shot. It was just 2018 when he fought Dominic Reyes, and unfortunately he got knocked out. But Dominic, I think, went on to have one more fight and then get the title shot against John Jones. So Cannonier kept losing weight. He moved down to middleweight, put some more wins together, and he lost to Robert Whitaker in 2020. He had said that he had broke his hand in that fight though, so he wasn't able to really do a whole lot. And then last year he beat Calvin Gastelum, and he jumped right back up in the rankings. And Derek Brunson, he fought Adesanya back in 2018. He got knocked out, and then since then he's went on a 5-fight win streak. So he's been on fire. And last year he beat Kevin Holland, he beat Darren Till, so he beat some pretty big names. And he's really been doing it with his wrestling. He's really just honed in on the wrestling and has been able to ragdoll guys. So yeah, the first round, Brunson wastes no time, and he starts pressuring Cannonier, up against the cage, and starts working for takedowns. And he does get a takedown early, but he has to work for it. You can tell he's using a lot of energy to get him down and to fight to get him down. So he gets him down. Cannonier does get back up, but Brunson keeps the pressure on, takes him down again. This time Brunson's able to to pass and to mount, able to land some ground and pound, but Cannonier is able to scramble and get back up to his feet. And then with about 20 seconds left, Brunson actually drops Cannonier and jumps right on him, takes his back, and goes for a rear naked choke. Cannonier does a good job of not letting Brunson get under the chin, and then he's pretty much saved by the bell. So the first round seemed to be going exactly the way Brunson wants it to go. Second round, Brunson gets another early takedown. Brunson keeps him down a little bit, lands some ground and pound. Cannonier once again is able to scramble, get his way back up to his feet. And now you can see Brunson's body language completely change. He is dead tired out of nowhere. And it's just he looks the way he looked when Izzy knocked him out in his fight, where he looks dead tired. He's leaning forward and throwing really slow punches. His punches look really bad. I was like, wow, and it looked bad. Cannonier becomes aware of it and just goes in for the kill. He lands a elbow that hurts Brunson pretty bad. Hits him with a couple more punches, drops him, jumps on top of him and hits him with like 3 real vicious elbows.
Yeah,
just bounce his head off the canvas.
Those are bad.
And I didn't notice it before when I was rewatching it today. His corner actually threw the towel in after the first elbow.
I seen that.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until today when I rewatched it. But I think like after the first elbow, they throw the towel in, and then by the time the third one's landing, you can see the towel like coming down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't peep that last night, but yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, Cannonier makes the statement he needed to make. He ends Brunson's five fight win streak, and I believe he does enough to get the title shot. And he pretty much calls Dana or tells Dana to his face, right? He like gets his attention. He's like, Dana, tells him to look at him, and he's like,
"To me, no one else."
Yeah, title shot is going to me.
Yeah, man, he's the only one that Izzy really hasn't faced yet.
That's what I mean. It's kind of what had to happen because he's the only one he hasn't fought. He fought Brunson, he fought Whittaker. Obviously, he's fighting Whittaker again. So Vettori, Costa, all the guys in like the top 7, I think Izzy's already fought.
So yeah, man, elbows to the face.
Yeah, that was bad, and you can tell like Brunson was out, like he didn't know where he was for a little bit. He was fucked up.
Speaking of which, that co-main, bro.
Yeah, the heavyweight fight, man. Derek Lewis versus Taito Avasa.
Wow.
That fight, definitely lived up. I didn't know which way it was gonna go. I always think about whether a guy's been knocked out before. I think I was leaning more towards Lewis as the fight was starting. So
I had a feeling that Tuivasa was gonna, step up and, his biggest moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
He had that. He got that. You know what I mean? That appeal. So I just felt like he was gonna be the one. One of these guys was gonna knock each other out.
Yeah. So, yeah, like you say, he's like a fan favorite right now. People love him.
He got that momentum going and everything.
Yeah. He's coming off I think like 3 huge KO wins, including the impressive Greg Hardy knockout.
Yeah.
So he's only 28 years old, from Australia. Ranked he was ranked number 11 coming into this. He's 15-3.
Wow.
Derek Lewis is 37 now. Derek Lewis is ranked number 3. Derek Lewis is ranked 3. Taito Avasa is ranked 11.
Wow.
So Derek Lewis is coming off the KO win of Chris Daukaus, and then before that, obviously he lost to Cyril Gane. And Derek Lewis has the most KO wins in heavyweight history, the knockout king. So first round, both guys look pretty patient. Tuivasa's pretty obviously going in for like the clinch and stuff. You could tell he wants to get some dirty boxing going. Like he's trying to, which makes sense. He's like the slicker boxer. Obviously, we know Derek Lewis just got that one huge bomb that he could land. But Tuivasa was pressing Lewis against the cage. And then Derek Lewis seemed to be getting kind of annoyed by it. At one point, like, actually takes him down. And gets on top of him. Isn't able to do too much. But Tuivasa is able to get back up. But he takes some really big shots while he's getting up. Some really big shots. And he did seem to be a little hurt. But, he was able to clinch and survive the round. Second round started. And the second round is pretty much, I think, what we thought the first round was going to be like. Like, second round, they were, both guys opened up more, and both guys,
and banging.
Yeah, they were just swinging and banging like they were saying, and both guys landing. Lewis seemed to have the more power in the punches, and then Tuivasa just like takes a step back and throws a huge right hand, lands perfect, and that's where he initially hurts him. He lands like another jab that hurts him, and then he goes again for the clinch and lands a nasty elbow right on the side of his temple, and man, Derek Lewis just collapses. Like, the way he fell was crazy. Like, it was like slow motion.
Yeah, it was bad.
Just right on his face. And that's it. The ref stopped it. Tuivasa doesn't even go in for any more shots. It was pretty obvious he was out. And, knocks out the heavyweight knockout king. It was really impressive. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if he could do it, especially after seeing him. Like I said, like it seemed like Tuivasa had got hurt a couple times. Like he took some big punches.
Yeah, man. Those uppercuts he was taking. Yeah, he was definitely hurt, man. But sometimes, like, a hurt fighter is a dangerous fighter.
Yeah.
He knew what he had to do, and he caught him with an elbow that first he caught him with one elbow, and that hurt him, and had him up against that cage and just pushed his head back, and boom.
Yep.
Wow, man, that was. Whew.
Yeah, I'm sure the elbows was the game plan because he was going for that clinch the whole time. and it worked out. So man, this throws him right up there right away in the top 5. You know, what I mean,
Yeah, man,
Derek Lewis is ranked number 3, so I don't know if this will put him at number 3, but this got to put him at least number 5, I would think.
Yeah.
So yeah, this puts him right up there with Cyril Gane, Stipe. It'll be interesting to see him fight those guys.
Yep.
Somebody that he has to worry more. I would like to see him face somebody that he has more of a well-rounded fighter.
Yeah.
To really make him use more of his skills. But yeah, that was a fun fight.
Facts.
And then the main event, Izzy Adesanya versus Robert Whitaker, the rematch. You know, Izzy, a middleweight champ, defending his title. He's 22-1. He only has the one loss when he went up to light heavyweight and Jan beat him. He's 32 now. And Robert Whitaker is actually a year younger. He's 31. I didn't know that. He's 24-6, former champ. Obviously, Izzy took the belt from him. And, you know, this was one of those really close fights, man. It was really hard to call the rounds. You know, Robert Whitaker, you know, had a totally different game plan. You know, as I expected him to have a way better performance.
Yeah.
You know, he was a lot more patient. He was right there with him. I mean, he was touching Izzy a couple times. I think Izzy was hitting him harder. It seemed like every time he touched Izzy, Izzy would hit him back. Israel was working that low calf kick the whole time. You can tell by the end of the fight, his calf was compromised. Like he couldn't move around as well. Izzy drops him in the first round with a jab, and it kind of seemed like a surprise. I don't think Izzy even, I think he was surprised that he dropped him. I mean, he popped right back up. But it just goes to show, Whittaker doesn't got the best chin. And Whittaker is able to get a couple takedowns. Actually, he gets four total takedowns. I think they were mainly in the second and in the fifth round, which are the two rounds that I gave Whittaker. I think he won those 2 rounds easily. I think the other, not easily, but I think the more clearly.
The fifth round definitely.
Yeah, the fifth round for sure. The fifth round he is when he almost gets he basically has his back.
Yeah. And
isn't able to choke, to get a choke in, and then just kind of just hops off his back. Yeah. It was weird how he just kind of gave it up. I was really surprised by that, and I was like, there goes to show like his jiu-jitsu he must not do a whole lot of jiu-jitsu. I think a Brazilian guy chokes him out easily. Like we saw Charles Oliveira do it to fucking Poirier, just jump on his back and then fucking a minute later he's fucking tapping. So really close fight. I don't know, man. I definitely think Izzy won it. One of the things that some people were saying was that he could have possibly broke his hand, because I think it was like after the second round, he definitely was holding his right hand, because they asked him about it. He acknowledged it. He says, "Oh, it's just like one of his stances or something he kind of does."
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of thought that he did, because I would say that he didn't seem to be throwing as many punches. He seemed to be relying on trying to land kicks a lot more.
Yeah.
I really thought he was gonna land the head kick. He was throwing it all night. It didn't really land clean at all. Rob did a really good job of blocking most of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's what I was predicting from the beginning. I thought he was gonna land a high kick to get him, but he was just chewing up the leg and landing a lot of kicks to the body as well. Like I said, but besides the 4 takedowns, I don't know if Whittaker did enough. I've seen Izzy getting criticized by a couple fighters like Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje. Ironically, them 2 guys kind of criticizing how, saying that he wasn't, that Izzy is kind of just got to the point where he's just doing enough to win the fight. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely.
Kind of surviving and not really putting himself in any danger at all to try to get a finish. You agree? You agree with that?
Yeah, but I don't really have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, I think I expected a little more. That's why I was kind of hoping that he would tell us that his hand was injured. He obviously I didn't think he would, even if it was, but it kind of seemed believable, like I said, just because he wasn't throwing it didn't seem like he was throwing as many punches.
Yeah.
But Whittaker, I think also, to his credit, he was doing a good job at keeping Izzy at distance as well. I think, he was staying away from him, not letting him pick him apart, and it was just hard for Whittaker to get in. You know, what I mean, he would have to lunge in, and you know, he almost got caught a couple times. There was a couple times in the fight where he got a little desperate, and it looked like Izzy was gonna catch him with the same counters that he caught him in the first fight. But Whittaker did a pretty good job of blocking and, you know what I mean, not getting caught and keeping him at distance. Like I said, he wasn't, you know, he I think that's the best we've seen, like, somebody not let Israel kind of pick him apart. You know what I mean? He really wasn't, besides his legs, he wasn't able to have his way the way he usually does. So, you know, I guess we gotta give credit to Robert Whitaker. It was a good performance. Like I expected him to have a really good performance. In all the interviews I saw, he seemed really focused on just beating Izzy. Like he just seemed to just lock in on that. Like, all right, I just want to beat this guy. Like, fuck the belt, fuck whatever else. Yeah. So yeah, we got a really good fight, entertaining. It was kind of weird at the end, right? It seemed like some of the fans were booing Izzy and then like cheering for Whittaker.
Yeah, I didn't get that, man, and I don't even get the narrative of, like, I mean, yeah, it was a close fight, but I don't think, you know, any questions, like, with the scorecards, man. Like, Izzy won that fight.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Whittaker was saying that he thought he won the fight. I watched a post conference and he said that, you know, he thought he did enough to win the fight, and then, you know, Izzy's response was, well, that's not how you get the belt. You don't get the belt by doing enough.
You know I mean, I gave Whittaker that 5th round. That's it. You know.
Yeah.
I think the 2nd and the 4th round were close. And I think the 4th round was closer than the 2nd. So if I was gonna give Whittaker another round, it would have been the 4th. So 2, 4, and 5. I guess maybe that's what some people are seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, man, you know, Izzy's the champ, and you could say like Whittaker might have won those rounds. But the only clear round that I thought he won was the 5th.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I would give him the 2nd just because he took him down.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the only one that I can see you can make the argument for. Other than that, I think Izzy won the fight. Now, yeah, I can see some people being a little upset. Maybe I wouldn't say it was boring at all. I wouldn't say that, but I can see some people being a little upset that, you know, he's not getting the finishes. The Marvin Vettori fight was a little similar to that one. I would say he definitely picked Marvin apart more though, like with the punches.
Yeah.
So that's why I was a little surprised. of that he wasn't able to touch him as much. But like I said, we gotta give credit to Whittaker. He fought Izzy before, so he knows. I mean, he knew what it was gonna be like. But yeah, overall, really good card. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that fight. The main event was awesome. Oh yeah, so most likely Izzy's gonna fight Jared Cannonier.
Yeah.
I think he said sometime in the summer.
Nice.
And Izzy, like just this week, he had signed like this huge contract. Apparently, they didn't give the details, but I think he said like now he's gonna be pretty much like, besides Conor, he's gonna be the highest paid fighter in the UFC now. Wow. And he's had like a huge multi-fight deal. Apparently, like I don't know how many fights, but I'm assuming it's like might be 10 or more. Who knows? Because he said that he's trying to go like on a championship run, like a historic run, pretty much. He's gonna try to beat Anderson Silva's record of, I think Anderson Silva has 11 title defenses. I think it's 11 in the middleweight division. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I think this might only be Izzy's third. Actually, this might only be his third title defense. I think it was Costa, Vettori, and now Whittaker. So yeah, I think this is his third defense. So he said he maybe not this year, but next year he wants to fight like 4 or 5 times in the year. So that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You know, he's not getting any younger. Obviously, he's already 32 years old. I'm sure he's not gonna fight too old. He's all about legacy, so I'm sure he wants to go, you know, have a couple crazy years and then, you know, walk away on top.
Yeah.
That'll be pretty sick.
Good choice.
And I'm sure he'll probably go up to light heavyweight again. I guess depending who has the belt now, you know, in a couple years at this point, anybody could have it. So depending where that belt's at, I could see him going back up to light heavyweight and giving that another go. And yeah, Robert Whitaker, you know, it's just one of those things where I think he's just the number 2 best middleweight in the world. You know what I mean? I think he beats everybody else in that division, and I think the third fight with Izzy might be inevitable. Really, if you know what I mean, I don't see Izzy losing the belt anytime soon, and I could see Whittaker, you know, fighting 3 other guys and beating 3 other guys to get another title shot.
Yeah.
So that might happen again. And Whittaker says that he feels he wins the fight, and he said the same thing. He said he feels the third fight is gonna happen because he said he's gonna beat anybody else that's that's in front of him. So he seems pretty focused on it. That'd be pretty interesting. A couple other things I wanted to mention on the prelims. Andrei Arlovsky, he was on the prelims. Former heavyweight champ. He's been around forever. He got a win on the undercard. So now I think he's tied for a second. He's tied with Jim Miller for second most UFC victories.
Wow,
it's crazy. And Jim Miller, I had just seen he's fighting like on the card next week or something. So
nice.
He might
get that back.
Get that back. I think Donald Cerrone has the most UFC wins with 23. So Jim Miller gets a win, he could tie Cerrone with number one. And then Roxanne Modafferi, she had her retirement fight on the prelims. She fought Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill's a tough young fighter. She beat up Roxanne pretty good, but Roxanne's a fucking warrior. She was there the whole time, and
nice.
She really put on a really good performance. And she's probably one of the last of the Ronda Rousey. Well, I guess Miesha Tate's still around too, but she's part of that generation of the original female pioneers. You know what I mean? She has I think over 50 professional fights in MMA. It's crazy. That's nice. And she was 38. I think she was 38 years old. Okay. So, yeah. So, congrats on her for a good career.
Yes, sir.
And then that was pretty much it, man.
Yeah, man. Good card. Great card.
Yeah. So, next week, this card was changed. Next week was supposed to be the Rafael dos Anjos and Rafael Fiziev fight. And I guess Fiziev was having some visa issues. He's from somewhere in Russia, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he was having some visa issues, so that fight got moved to UFC. It's gonna be the co-main for UFC 272, March 5th. So next week's card, Johnny Walker and Jamal Hill is gonna be the main event.
Good fight.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good fight. You know what I mean? I don't know about the other fights, but that should be a good fight. Johnny Walker's pretty fun to watch. Jamal Hill. Younger guy. He's had a couple impressive wins, so that should be fun. And then this is the fight I really can't wait for: Benil Dariush and Islam Makhachev, February 26th. An impressive win from either one can get them a title shot. After Gaethje, I think Gaethje now is getting the next title shot. And then the week after that is the 272, March 5th. Kobe Covington, Jorge Masvidal, headlining. Nice. The pay-per-view. That's dope. Oh yeah, Kevin Holland's on there. Edson Barbosa. This is gonna be a good card.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no belt on it, so they gotta load it up. I thought the Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier fight was supposed to be on here, but I guess not. I think I saw Nate was saying that he wants to fight. I guess the UFC is I think it's Nate's last fight on the contract. And I think he's saying that he doesn't want to renew. I think he's saying that he's gonna retire.
Yeah.
He recently said that he just wants to fight his contract out and just walk away. And I guess the UFC is not they're kind of drawing it out.
Box. He's gonna start boxing, bro.
I kind of hope not. I don't know how good he does, but I mean he got I don't know. What do you think he does? Do you think he does how do you think he would do in boxing?
Terrible.
Yeah. I don't think it would be good for him.
Yeah. I think he would be too cocky to keep his hands up and do the fundamentals and probably get trashed by people who know what they're doing.
Yeah. I don't think it would work out for him. Yeah. At all.
But I mean that's what's up though, if he does retire and just chills and lives his life,
Yeah, I mean I hope so. I mean
I'm sure he could make a lot of money doing a lot of other safer stuff
for
appearances
sure. And he's made a decent amount of money. I mean, he's one of the highest paid guys ever since the Conor fight. He's been one of the biggest draws. He's one of the guys that no matter what his last performance was, whether he got fucking beat up or
Rob Gronkowski shit, he could just probably do commercials or stand up comedy. I'm sure he could pull it off.
Something, yeah. But yeah, so I think they said now they're aiming for that fight to be sometime in the summer as well. So a lot of good fights coming up. What about boxing?
In the wonderful world of pugilism, We have let's see. Let's start with probably like the least important. Ryan Garcia, lightweight star, splits with now former trainer Eddie Reynoso. Says he wants more freedom and this, that, and the third. I forget. I probably shouldn't say it like that.
Yeah.
But no, he's gonna be training with legendary trainer Joe Goosen.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna like this move, man, because seeing Ryan Garcia train, get back into this, he still has a lot of those glaring flaws where he keeps his chin out and um, drops his hand when he throws his power punches. And,
Yeah.
basically susceptible to counter shots, and it's no good.
So
No
you think,
good.
you think it's a good move for him?
I hope so, man. I hope so. It's a good move because I think another thing is like I don't know if Ryan Garcia really speaks like fluent Spanish like that.
Yeah, he seems to be more Americanized.
I know and vice versa.
Eddie Reynoso is probably, I think, mainly speaks Spanish.
Right. So yeah, that
It
might
does seem there's a little cultural barrier there too. Like
yeah.
Eddie Reynoso seemed to be more your traditional Mexican coach, like, you know.
Right. Yeah. Well. Anywho, I think this is a good. Ryan is scheduled to take on. He's gonna come back and fight Emmanuel Tago, in April 9th.
Yeah.
So in San Antonio, Texas. Tago's under Lou DiBella. So, he promotes George Kambosos.
Yeah.
So they've been going back and forth with Devin Haney about how like they're not getting offers and they're not getting the right offers or this, that, and the third, and Haney's saying that they're telling him they're not getting any offers, and it's just a whole lot of drama with that.
He say.
So yeah, it's looking like they're not gonna give Devin Haney a shot, man. That's kind of messed up.
That's crazy.
But they want to give Ryan a shot, and I seen Lou DiBella on one of those boxing YouTube shows,
Mm-hmm.
and he basically said like, "Yo, Ryan's the bigger draw." He said both Ryan and Lomachenko is a bigger draw than Devin Haney. So I'm thinking to myself like, all right, so we know that Kambosos is gonna fight either Loma or Ryan next probably, and Ryan's already fighting another Lou DiBella fighter, so we'll see what's up, man.
Yeah, I want to see him back in there.
Yeah, man. So Savannah Marshall has an opponent taking on Femken Hernans.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets past her, we can get a nice good fight between Savannah Marshall and
Clarissa Shields.
Clarissa Shields. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that seems to be what they want to do.
Now normally I don't get into bullshit like this, but if you're interested, you can Google it. Jermell Charlo's arrested again.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm bringing it up is because that means obviously no Canelo fight, which we talked about that one episode. So it's looking like Canelo's gonna go take that 2-fight deal from Dazn for like 85 mil.
It's crazy.
That's nuts, bro. 42 mil per fight, and he's gonna be taking on Bivol and Triple G, and I'm pretty excited for that. Even though I'm probably gonna cry, as a very big Triple G fan.
Yeah,
probably gonna cry. But that's what's up for that. And it's reported that Beterbiev, speaking of the 175-pound division, Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr. Should be taking each other on in the summer to unify titles.
Yeah,
Beterbiev should handle him. Yeah, man. In terms of topics, that's all I got. I know next week we got King's. I think King's Promotion is doing this. So shout out to Marshall Kaufman.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's a Showbox. Jermaine Ortiz versus Nair Albright. Jeremy O'Donnell's on that. Allentown fighter. That would be I think that's on a Friday. And then the next day you have Amir Khan taking on Kell Brook for British supremacy. You know?
Yeah.
Natasha Jones versus Iwit Pakowska for the vacant WBO title.
Nice.
Women's middleweight. Yeah, man. So that's on ESPN Plus.
How high up does the women's weight classes go to?
I honestly don't know. I'm guessing they have their own heavyweights, but I don't know what that weight would be.
Yeah.
But in terms of big fights, we have Josh Taylor coming back to take on Jack Catterall, February 26th, end of this month. Then a week after that, you have Jose Ramirez taking on Jose Pedraza. Good Mexican versus Puerto Rico fight in the junior welterweight division.
Nice.
Then it's not. I don't think it's official yet, but it's looking like they're gonna have the Tyson Fury and Dillian White fight April 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
The week after that, you have two big ones, man. You have Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez. That's signed. That fight is signed. Both fighters signed the contract, so that's what the holdup was. But now it's official. It's gonna happen on ESPN Plus. It doesn't look like a pay-per-view fight. Same day, you're gonna have Amanda Serrano taking on Katie Taylor on Dazn for the Undisputed Championship in women's lightweight division. Beautiful stuff, man. Beautiful stuff.
Then that's the same day as the Shakur Stevenson fight?
Yeah, and he tweeted and said, yo, we got to figure out on how to stagger this.
Time,
because
yeah.
he wants to make sure that they both get the shine.
Yeah.
I love that.
For sure. Is Shakur Stevenson undefeated?
Yeah, man. He's going to stay undefeated. Probably longer than anybody else in his era.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen him fight, but I was watching a JRE with, I forget who it was, but it was some boxing guy. I think he was like a manager or some point. He was saying that he believes that Shakur Stevenson is pretty much like the best fighter right now.
Oh yeah, he's
I was
slick,
like, oh
man.
shit.
Yeah, they basically said he looked like the next Floyd.
Yeah, that's exactly what the guy said. Pretty much, he's like, I hate to say, because I hate to say this, but he seems like he's gonna be Floyd-esque.
Yeah, he's nice, man, and he got that pop. He's basically like if a lot of people like the old Floyd, the Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah,
he's Pretty Boy Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
He's Pretty Boy Floyd, man. He boxes, he can move, he's elusive, makes you miss, but he can make you pay too, and he can knock guys out, man. He put a hurting on Jamal Herring. I was very impressed by that, and I was very impressed by Oscar Valdez putting a hurting on Miguel Bichout. So this fight, man, that could be fireworks right here, man. That's gonna be a good one.
Definitely want to watch that.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, that's all I got for now.
Yeah, same here.
Word. Well, thanks again for tuning in. Until next week, my name is Manny.
My name's Alberto.
This is the OnlyFights podcast, and we out.
Peace.
Peace.